I have the all-new Omega Vert VRT 330 juicer that I'll be showing you today. I just got finished juicing some vegetables, and so I got done juicing carrots, cucumbers, celery, spinach, and collard greens, and as you can see, the juicer inside is still all dirty. Now this is my favorite feature of the Omega Vert juicer. It's literally self-cleaning. So let's check it out. All you do is I have, the normal pitchers over the side of the table. I put these spare ones right here to show you that are totally clean. And literally all you're gonna do is you're gonna take a pitcher of water, right? And you can see some residual pulp coming out of the machine. You're gonna take that pitcher of water and just pour it through the machine. Now you don't wanna pour it too quick, and just pour it right through there. And what'll happen is there's an automatic cleaning system inside the machine, which is silicone wiping blades, much like the windshield wipers on your car when you're driving in the rain. These wipers actually wipe the screen off to keep the screen clean, which means a higher yield and easier to use and easier to clean, because as it's working, it's cleaning the screen. So your job at the end of the juicing session is going to be a lot easier. So you can see as we're putting the water in, you can see the water is first coming out orange, and now if you put the water in long enough, the water will finally come out clear. So the water is now finally coming out clear, and now we're ready to juice our fruits. So now we're going to put in our regular juice catch, our pulp catch, and our juice catch. And then we have a clean juicer, so we didn't even have to stop to take it apart. And when I juice, I try to juice, mostly vegetables, and then maybe I'll add in some apple or pears for sweetness if the vegetable juice is too harsh. And then I like to juice my fruits separately. So right now we're going to make cherry juice, grape juice, orange, and apple juice. Now I wouldn't necessarily recommend, mixing all those together. I think it's best to juice one fruit at a time. If you want to mix them, you can, of course, but we're going to make them separate today to show you how it works. Now the most impressive thing to juice with the Omega Vert juicer is the cherries. See, these are cherries. We just literally only took off the stems and literally put them into the machine. And you'll hear that crack, that popping sound. I mean, what that is, that's literally the juicer exploding the cherry pit and juicing the cherry. So you can see out of the machine is coming cherry juice on one side. The other side, you're going to get the cherry pulp. So the cherry pulp is the pulp of the fruit and also the ground up seed. So I wouldn't try this with any other juicer on the market. You're going to damage your juicer. But with the Omega Vert juicer, it's completely okay. But the other thing is you don't want to just dump a lot of cherries in at the same time. You kind of got to maybe put one at a time and feed them nice and slow, nice. Feed them too fast, the juicer will freeze up on you. That isn't necessarily a problem, but then it's just going to take you longer in the long run to juice, because you're going to have to play with the reverse switch, go back and forth. So you can see here, this pulp that's coming out, I'm going to catch some of it and show you how dry this pulp is. And that's the other feature I like about the Omega Vert juicer. If you do want to juice your fruits, the Vert juicer is one of the most efficient juicers on the market. So this is literally the cherry pulp, and it's just basically mostly cherry pits in there. And as you can see, we got a whole bunch of cherry juice. Let's go ahead and juice the rest of these cherries really fast. I love to hear that popping sound. That's how powerful the Omega Vert juicer is. So I think that's all the cherry juice. Sometimes when I'm done juicing, I like to just tip the juicer a little bit, and that'll help the rest of the juice that's inside the juicer to come out. Maybe shake it a little bit, because otherwise you'll pull the juice catch bin away, and then it'll drip some more, and you'll lose some valuable cherry juice. And I don't know about you, but cherries are really expensive. This makes nice, literally thick and creamy cherry juice. So we're going to try that in a second. But let's continue juicing. The next thing we're going to juice here are some grapes. So with the grapes, you're going to literally take the stems and all, and just drop the grapes in there. I like to usually just peel the grapes off because that slows you down, because once again you don't want to overload the juicer, and as fast as you could take the grapes off the stems, you could feed them in, and that's going to make you a nice grape juice. And so grape juice is really good for us. We've all remembered, off the store, I'm not saying any brand names of grape juice, but fresh grape juice tastes really amazing. And if you can, try to get wine grapes to juice. Now, unless you live in somewhere where they grow wine grapes, it might be kind of hard, so you're going to end up with these kind of grapes. But even better, you want to juice grapes with the seeds. So even if you can't get the wine grapes with the seeds, because wine grapes are sweeter because they have a higher sugar content, because the sugar is meant to ferment into the wine. So if you're juicing them, it's just going to taste that much sweeter. Actually, Concord grapes are my favorite grapes to juice, actually. It tastes so good. But you want to juice the grapes with the seeds. I mean, you could go to the health food store and buy basically a supplement or grape seed extract supplement, and that's really high in antioxidants. So when you take the grape seeds, put them through the Omega Vert juicer, it juices the grapes and crushes the seeds and gets some of the nutrition out of the seeds into the juice that you'll be drinking. So it's a lot more better for you. So you can see here, I mean, it's having no problems with grapes. As fast as I could put them in, it's literally juicing it. And I mean, we didn't even juice that many grapes, and look at all that grape juice it's making. And look at that, hardly any grape pulp has come out. That's because grapes are, have a really high water content. And the Vert is so efficient at taking out the juice out of the grapes. So we'll go ahead and finish up those grapes there, and we're going to move on to the next thing. So as you can see here, this pulp is literally bone dry. I mean, the only other way to get dry pulp is to use like a grape press. That's what, wine growers use. I mean, this stuff is so dry, I can press it and there's no juice left in it. It's totally amazing. No other juicer is going to get pulp this dry when you're juicing grapes. So once again, I like to tip the juicer up a little bit, get the juice out. We're going to go ahead and put all this grape juice in a glass, and we're going to overfill it. Put that to the side. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and juice some oranges. So I have some oranges here. I also like to juice things like tangerines. And now the one thing I want to tell you about before you juice oranges is that when you juice oranges, you can't just cut up the orange and put them in whole. It's true that most fruits you can actually just cut and put the skin in and all. But oranges is not one of them. I mean, you can even put the skin in of pineapple. Not that I'd recommend it, because they do spray the skin with things unless it's an organic pineapple. But even things like cantaloupe, you could put cantaloupe skin into the Vert juicer. It'll juice it just fine. Watermelon rinds, great. Put them right in. It'll make your juice actually a little bit more mild, because the rind has a lot of the chlorophyll content and actually make your juice a lot healthier. But with the oranges, we don't want to be juicing the skin, because there's some chemicals in the skin that's actually non-digestible from us, and it'll give you bad gas and bloating. So don't do it. But what you do want to do is that you do want to peel your oranges. So whether you use like a carrot peeler to peel it, or actually I just used a knife, you do want to leave on the white pith. I mean, you could just peel it with your hand and segment it out and do that, but I like to leave on the white pith, because this will make an orange juice like no other. And this is going to be the best orange juice you've ever had. It makes it nice, creamy, and frothy. And so most of the time when you go to the store and you get orange juice in the carton, they're just literally taking the orange, cutting it in half, and selling you the orange water. So you're actually missing out on a lot of the nutrition that you could be getting if you had the Omega Vert juicer. You could get the white pith, and as we know, the white pith is the most nutritious part of the orange. So it's going to also mild out the juice too. It's not going to taste quite as sweet, because the pith will balance out the sugar, the sweetness, with the kind of little bit tartness of the pith, but you're going to get a lot more nutrition. The bioflavonoids are mostly in the white pith. So if you make orange juice every day, you want to make orange juice with that white pith. We're going to push that in. As you can see, we just juiced pretty much 2 oranges, and we got almost 2 cups of juice. And the pulp's fairly dry. I mean, I can press it out, and I'm just squeezing orange pulp in my hand, and there's no juice, really residual juice that's left. So once again, the Vert is one of the most efficient juicers to juice fresh fruits. So we're going to go ahead and pour this out a little bit. Not much orange juice left in there. We're going to take our glass. Fresh orange juice. So the last thing we're going to juice right now is apples. So I like to add apples actually into my vegetable juices. And once again, juicing apples in the Omega Vert is no problem. You just, put the apples in. It's really self-feeding. It does a really good job when you're juicing apples. Now for best juicing, you want to get hard and firm apples. You don't want to pick apples at the store that are all soft and mealy. Because once the apple goes soft on you, then it's going to make more of a mush and it's not going to juice as good for you. So when I go to the store to pick apples to juice, I try to get nice and firm ones that don't really yield to any pressure. So as you can see, we literally just juiced 2 apples just in this short amount of time. And we have a little bit more than 1 cup of juice. And we'll let that run a little bit longer. And once again, this apple pulp, once again, is really dry compared to other juicers on the market. Once again, the only thing that you're going to need that's going to get it drier is maybe like an apple press. That'll, get it sawdust dry. So now here we go. We're going to dump this out a little bit, and not much left in there. We're going to pour out this apple juice. So the juices that you will make in the Omega Vert juicer are going to be a lot higher quality than other juicers on the market because of the low speed, low 80 RPMs. It tends to not oxidize the food as much, and also you're going to get a higher yield. So even though the Vert does cost a little bit more than some of the other juicers on the market, you're going to save money in the long run, because when you buy cherries at $5 a pound and you juice them and you get really dry pulp, you're extracting most all the juice from that 5 pounds of cherries that you bought. Now if you use another juicer and you maybe only get 50% of the juice out, you're literally throwing money down the drain in wasted produce unless you do something with the pulp. So because the Omega Vert juicer yields more, you're going to save money in the long run, even if the initial investment is going to cost you a little bit. But the other thing I like to say is that, once again, the Omega Vert juicer does have a 10-year warranty. So should the juicer, fail in 10 years, it's going to be covered by warranty. So, I like to think of it as a juicer as an investment. And it's an investment in the most important thing in your life. It's an investment in your health. I mean, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. At a young age, I almost lost my health. I was in the hospital. The doctors told me I might not make it out alive. So at that point, I really got serious about changing my lifestyle and to become a lot healthier. So with the Omega Vert juicer, it's the most important investment you could make, and it's backed up with a 10-year warranty so that your investment will remain safe. And also it's easy to use. So I want you to buy a juicer that you will use every day, not just say, oh, I have a juicer, but I barely use it because it's a pain to clean. I've heard that about a lot of juicers, but I can definitely say the Omega Vert juicer is one of the easiest juicers to clean.